All right. How is everybody doing today? I am Riley McShane, your host for the Metal Blade Live series, here with my friend Herman Lee from Dragonforce. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Dude, I love your stream room so much. Like, it is such a magical place. It's fantastic. I love all the guitars and particularly the dog. And yeah, it's awesome. I just had to kick it off with that. How much I enjoy watching your streams and the environment that they come with. So that is super
Okay.
cool. Um, I was actually going to talk to you quite a bit about your Twitch stream today. I know that that's something that you're doing right after this little interview that we have scheduled here. Um, so what was it like? Like what was it like when you first started working with Twitch? Was it surprising at all that they were like so into featuring, a metal band? Obviously, Dragon Force is well known in and out of metal. From features on video games to just being, such a prevalent pop culture thing. But did you, you know, was that process super smooth? What was it like for you when you first started?
Well, first, thank you for having me. And
Yeah.
hi, chat. Hey, everybody out there. Wherever you're watching this from, Twitch, beyond, from another planet, from whatever platform getting grilled right now by by the U.S. government.
Yeah.
um, well, to be honest, it was I signed up to Twitch a year before I started streaming just to watch stuff because I'm a big computer guy, big gamer guy. But so this is what happened. I For 10 years before that, I just completely didn't do social media. I just thought, you know what? I hate Facebook. I don't really have sexy pictures of me to post on Instagram. On Twitter, really, what I have to say, you guys don't really care. I'm not that important. And so I thought, hey, Twitch is a cool thing. I'm a gamer. Most people there, I can relate to what they're into, what kind of stuff they're into in games and all that. So it was like I felt comfortable to do that. I just never was comfortable with Facebook and all that stuff. So if you look at my other social media, for like 10 years, I barely posted anything. So I just started doing Twitch, and I really had a good time doing it. And the people there, I mean, they were awesome. They were Dragon Force fans, so that was a natural kind of fit. They go, oh well, yeah, we have spent how many hours playing Guitar Hero, we listening to
Yeah.
your song, we've seen your show. Um, so it was fun, and of course, back then, which was 2 years ago, Twitch wasn't as big, as suddenly now. There's a massive explosion now,
Right.
since the pandemic. So it was difficult, but we had really great fans that came and helped me with getting things set up. And even as a computer nerd, so I used to work in IT before becoming a professional musician. I used to be a Unix, Linux, um, Solaris system admin for like
Nice.
servers and stuff. So real nerd. um, it was pretty challenging to learn this new software. I had all the computers, I've multiple screens, but just getting the production onto live streaming, it was a kind of challenge. But luckily, the fans helped me up and kind of gave me a quick start into the world of live streaming.
I remember we were both in attendance at the Behemoth "I Love You at Your Darkest" listening party in LA, and you and I spoke pretty briefly about Twitch streaming and getting everything started and all that kind of stuff. And I remember you saying even then that you were like, "Yeah, dude, I have like a million computers and like I've got all this crazy hardware set up, and now it's just kind of a matter of integrating the software to be what I want it to look like and have my presentation all set up." And I pretty much started following you back then and have kind of watched you grow on Twitch, and it's super cool, man. You're definitely one of my favorite streamers that I've been following for a few years in that regard. So I'm stoked to see how far it's come with your following and the different types of streams you do. Um, so speaking of technical challenges, I know that you've streamed from the road, and obviously you stream from home. I know that once you kind of get it dialed in, there's not really much of a technical challenge as far as streaming from home goes. But streaming from the road, you have like a mobile GoPro rig. How do you do that? How does your setup for that work? And do you ever run into any kind of challenges? My biggest thing when I would try to stream from the road was trying to get on venue Wi-Fi, which to all the touring musicians that have ever had to deal with venue Wi-Fi, it's a nightmare. So
Well, I have a total of 8 portable modems with me. So I got 4 that I bought in Europe that exclusively using the European network
right,
system, and I have another 4 which are US system, right? Because the bandwidth stuff are different. They don't really work, so I had to rebuy the different SIM cards and different stuff there. It's a lot. It's hard work. It really is, and I mean it's kind of funny. It's like we've been off tour for a while, so I kind of had to think about what I have in that rig. But yeah, I have like a portable computer. I bring special router for me to do, like, I have a wireless camera that I can wear on my shoulder. That's not a GoPro. So like I have a mixture of stuff, multiple camera, and all these things. But in the end, the most stable was just using this IRL backpack, which my one is actually custom built. I know you can buy those ones out there, but because I'm a techno, I decided to custom build mine and do a different way, do a different system. So that is, in order to get this stable signal, you need at least 4 modems, because everyone get their phones out at the show. So they're there to steal your signal, to kind of destroy your live stream. You got 1,000 people with their phones out. It just stuff doesn't work on one. No. So I have that, and I have my phone also as a separate support if needed. So it's like an IRL backpack, which is, it uses a technology that television use, right, when they do wireless broadcasting. Right. And so it's kind of a scaled down version, and I do all the technical stuff pretty much myself. But I'm always trying to improve the system. How to make it better microphone, better. We tried a number of different cameras, and it will be better, every time we go on the next tour.
It's crazy hearing this kind of stuff, man. I remember when everybody, during this big quarantine boom, when all these musicians started streaming, a big video that was going around was how Matt from Trivium sets up his streaming, from home setup, and so much more goes into it than people think, especially for music and musicians. When you have these multiple audio sources and trying to capture video from multiple angles, it's like, he has his stuff going through a desktop and a MacBook, and like actual hardware like compressors and 2 different audio interfaces, and it's wild, man. So it always blows my mind, coming from more of a world of like video game streaming, where it's just like, all I really need is, a camera, a capture card if I'm on console, a little bit of knowledge of Streamlabs, and a good microphone, and that's pretty much it. You can stream, pretty much anything. But once you start incorporating all these different elements, the process becomes very quickly much more complicated. So it's always interesting to hear how creative people get creative to make these, technological solutions possible. It's really awesome.
There's no live streaming tech yet in the industry, right? I technically need to take a live streaming tech, because doing the live stream, doing the show, I actually have literally no time on tour anymore. Every day I need to go in, I need to check the modem speed, I need to check the dead spot, all these things. I'm like basically the computer guy on tour. And then I got all these computers, like I got like docking station in my laptops that I can do different stuff, and it's like, but it's just like, it's kind of my own fault, because I want to improve the system all the time. But
yeah, well,
I talk too much.
No, man, that's what this is for. And it's super interesting. Like I said, it's super interesting to hear how everybody takes this different approach to get kind of the same end result. It's like I said, creative people coming up with creative solutions. It's fucking super cool stuff. So speaking of being on the road,
I was just saying, I'm reading a question here on your chat here.
Yeah.
Do we do any pre-live stream like stuff? We actually do before the show, we stream when the doors open. So you got all the backstage madness, and you got to find a way to kind of walk around the backstage onto the stage without losing the signal. So people, they want to see beyond. It's not just about the show and the POV cam on stage, but you see us warming up and doing things and just, I don't know, what we're eating. It's like the Big Brother cam.
Yeah, having that backstage personality on a live stream goes such a long way. And I feel like a lot of people who have done live streams really just focus on like the performance side of things. But yeah, definitely having like a backstage presence or a setup or just little things that people don't often get to see, like how you guys set up your gear, what your sound check process is like. It's all super cool and really insightful. So speaking of playing live, you guys, your tour production is crazy. It's super cool with like the arcade cabinets and your CO2 cannons. Who in the band is the creative force behind that? Like, who comes up with these ideas, and what's the process like for building and ordering and moving all that kind of stuff? You see some of these like, these like mega bands. Like I remember when Allegiant played Hellfest just a couple years ago, Kiss rolled in. They were headlining the day we were playing, and they rolled in with like 2 semi trucks just like full of production stuff. So I know that it can be kind of crazy. What is it like for you guys and with Dragonforce?
Well, before this tour started, I was talking with Sam about how we're going to make this stage show for the next tour. And we're talking about, some bands like Behemoth, they have really cool stage. They have the Viking thing. Children of Bodom, I remember they had the bar once on stage.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were drinking it. They probably were if they finished. But we thought, well, what's the Dragonforce stage? Well, I said, well, we should do some kind of retro video game arcade kind of thing. With a cool dragon in the background and loads of arcade cabinets on there with screens doing stuff. And then in the end, it evolved into this massive giant arcade machine we do guitar solos on, right?
Yeah.
With like all these cannons, flames. We take them when they're allowed in different venues, lasers. And the arcade cabinets, but Sam actually built it himself with his bare hands, buying the wood, cutting the wood, putting it together, and the stairs. So we actually build the arcade machines. I wouldn't say we, because I'm the computer guy. Yeah. I build the production, the LED screen, how the graphics go with the music, synchronization. But he did the kind of like, I'm like computer guy. I don't really have rough hands. He's more like the get in there. So he built 4 arcade machines, 2 of them in my garage here.
That is so sick. That's you never would have thought. You know what I mean? That it's like a DIY thing. That's so cool. Yeah, that the first, I'm a huge video game nerd, like especially retro games. Starting at around the Atari up to like NES and Super Nintendo and all that kind of stuff. That's like what I grew up on. So whenever I see that metal video game crossover happen, it brings a tear to my eye. I absolutely love it. So seeing that with you guys was super cool. I saw a performance you did with I can never remember his name, the guy from Polyphia, where you were both standing on top of the arcade cabinets and doing all that, arcade shredding, and it was so much fun just to watch and be a part of.
I'm always scared of them falling, because it's like, I always say before the show, Sam, check the wobbliness of this build, because you build them and they're like taken apart, they're on the bus, they're off on the trailer. I'm thinking sometimes, like, oh man, are these safe to have special guests on? I mean, we have to shell out loads of money for killing a Guitar Hero on our stage coming on.
Oh man. So speaking of Guitar Heroes, and I'm sure you've heard this question a million times. Obviously, Through the Fire and the Flames being played on Guitar Hero at double speed and backwards and blindfolded and all kinds of stuff. It's become like a staple of the Guitar Hero streaming and playing community. What is your like favorite version of that song that you have seen someone pull off via a Guitar Hero or a cover? I see reaction videos all the time. Like I saw one just recently of like a dude doing a flute version of it that you were just like, what the fuck? Like it's, there's so many creative ways that people have approached that song, but what has been one that like really stood out to you? Not even necessarily your favorite.
I mean, I gotta say, it's cool to have a meme song, right? We have
Yeah.
a meme song for more than 14 years now.
Yeah.
I'll live and die with it. It's what it is. I mean, the flute thing I saw was absolutely crazy that I had to do a reaction to. That was just like insane. Someone doing all the solos on the recorder.
Yeah.
Actually, the recorder.
Yeah.
It's like doing all the dive bomb on the recorder. I'm going, what? That's insane. And then someone playing it on Guitar Hero, Clone Hero at 165%. That's crazy. I don't know what people are doing these days. They have too much time.
Yeah.
And that guy was actually kind of funny while I was doing it. He was saying, yes, I had sex in my life. Yes, I actually can play the guitar. Yes, I have a girlfriend. Thank you very much. While he's playing.
Yeah.
He's got a human ballot. Yeah.
That's amazing. There's a streamer that I watch who does like Clone Hero stuff named Miscellany, and he did a version of Through the Fire and Flames at like 165 or 170 or something like that. That I was just like, dude, like how there's no way that they're like watching and listening. Like it has to be a muscle memory thing at that point, because it's like it's so fast that it's just watching their fingers just hit those same 5 buttons just so quickly. It has to be one of those things where they like memorize the patterns. It's kind of like learning to play an actual solo really fast, right? Like you start slow, you learn it, you build in the muscle memory, and then slowly increase the speed with a little click, and then all of a sudden you're shredding. I imagine the process has to be sort of similar.
I don't know, like those people doing speed runs. You gotta be, to do those speed runs is another level. And there's a video that turned up on YouTube the other day. I really wanted to watch it, but I won't yet. It's someone doing the whole Doom Eternal within 2 hours 45 minutes in the hardest level. He's speed throughing. I mean, he's finishing the game 2.5 hours.
That's so crazy.
I gotta see that thing. That's just like whoa.
3 months ago. Like, how do you like? Oh my god. That's insane. Yeah, some of those speedrun videos, my favorite ones are the ones of like older retro games where they just totally break them. Where it's like, okay, like yeah, I just did a speedrun of Ocarina of Time in 35 seconds because I started off and then rolled through this one part in Kokiri Village, and then it dropped me off at this part near Zora's River, and then I rolled through a wall there, and then all of a sudden I've like broken the programming, and now I'm fighting Ganon. And it's just like the amount of time spent and like knowledge researching the actual like hard coding of an N64 game, like it's just so cool to me. So I have another question here from someone in one of these chats. Is there another ballad cover that you guys have wanted or want to do, i.e. your recent cover of My Heart Will Go On?
Oh, I don't know. Sam kind of came out with that idea, and I thought, yeah, that sounds very power metal. We can do that. But I don't know. It's kind of we actually recorded another song, which is sort of a ballad, but we never actually finished it. Maybe we're gonna release it one day in the future, but it's we'll see. Not many people know it actually, but we just every time we make an album, we realize we just never have enough time. So it's like, oh, you know what? Let's drop one song. Let's don't bother finishing it, so we can spend the energy into improving all the rest of the songs. So
yeah.
Funny enough, there's one bonus track that never been finished.
That's I feel that on a spiritual level, not ever having enough time to finish a record the way you want. It's something that every record I've ever been a part of, I look back on it like sometimes as soon as just like a month later, and I'm just like, oh god, like I wish I could go back into the studio and just like fix this one thing. And it's that is definitely a challenge for musicians to be able to be like, okay, like this is how much time we have, this is what we need to do, this is how you be happy with the final product. And
yeah, we have to accept an album even though fans won't accept it. So I say it this way: an album is a snapshot of our life, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, but people judge you as that's the best you can do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's like that band sucked.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I'm never gonna listen to that band ever again. For us, we're growing, we're improving.
Yeah.
continuously. When the album is finished, we already can do better. We learn everything from that experience.
I had a conversation recently with someone about the last guest that we had, Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder, and something that he said during one of his streams where someone was like, "So what's your favorite Black Dahlia record?" And he said at the time, he was like, "Oh well, Verminous is my favorite." And people were like, "Oh well, you're just saying that like because you're trying to plug it because it's your newest record, like you just." And he was like, "No, dude, like if your newest record isn't your favorite record, like what are you doing? Like if you're not moving forward, what direction are you going in? Like how, And it's really a testament to like, musicians are musicians because we like the artistic challenge and we like to learn new things and we like to grow creatively and the great thing about it is that it's all subjective. You know what I mean? Like there's no every song is good and bad.
We're not that useful. It's not like we're inventing, something to save the world.
Yeah, right.
So it's not like, oh, this is a medicine that helps. Some people think it's horrible. Some people think it's great. It helps them. So you can only do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't really guess it.
And that's what everyone should do. Never put yourself in a box as a creative person or a musician. So circling back to streaming and Twitch, I know we've talked a lot about it, but it's such a prevalent thing right now. How much more do you feel bands are thinking about these digital outlets and recording new EPs and covers and all this stuff while touring is kind of off the table right now? And is Dragonforce even thinking about doing anything like that, utilizing these digital platforms that we have?
Well, look, if we look at it this way, right? What do we have? Facebook. Anyone even use Facebook? Whatever. We call it Facebook. Okay. It exists. Yeah. It exists. I argue all the time with people say, is it worth spending money advertising on Facebook? Who actually use Facebook? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
How are you going to even write a song or make a band? Oh, and you got to do your website. How about your merch site? So there's only how much energy you can spend doing this. So I think you got to look at where your strengths are as a band. If I was a real sex symbol, I would do lots of selfie on Instagram and I'll pick up 1 million Instagram followers. And maybe that's the thing that's going to work for me. But obviously, I am not. So I'm a weird tech guy who loves video games and guitars. So Twitch works for me. I think you got to pick what works for you and what you enjoy, because ultimately playing in the band is like we do music because we love it. So you can't really force yourself to do all the platforms the same amount of attention. You still got to do Twitter, okay? You post less. I think that's really what it is. Some people are not comfortable doing Twitch, and it makes sense. It doesn't work for them. You can't be fake and try to force yourself into live streaming. YouTube is another platform which is a completely different way of approaching.
Right.
So I do stuff I like. I enjoy doing my silly videos on YouTube. I even do the silly thumbnail pictures on our YouTube videos. I made that. I signed up for that. I was the creator of that channel. So here I'm kind of doing it at the same time. But just do what you can that you enjoy, I think.
Yeah. That's a fantastic answer, man. That's an approach that I think not a lot of people really think about when it comes to this kind of stuff. You do what you like and you play to your strengths, and with so many options available, everyone can do that. So that's a really cool perspective that I'm really stoked you put out there for everyone. So we only have a couple minutes left. I know that you have a stream coming up here pretty soon. Before we go, I just wanted to see if there were any questions that you saw on your end from the fans or from chat that you want to address real quickly.
I can see some kind of YouTube chat going down. I can see some kind of Twitch chat going down.
There's so many.
There's a funny question from Sarah D. I want to hear Dragonforce cover Jerry Lee Lewis' Great Balls of Fire. Balls and fire seems to be a very common thing Dragonforce talk about. So I think that is actually quite a good idea.
Fantastic idea. I'm waiting for it.
what other stuff are there? I mean, people are funny. I love them not really question this saying funny stuff.
Yeah.
But I got a few more minutes. If there's some important question I missed that you have, you can fire it away.
I have, what do I have here? I have a few pretty cool questions. You gave some shout outs to some streamers in the audience from the stage at TwitchCon, and have appeared on other streams. Is the community vibe and collaborative environment at all a surprise or benefit to you, or something that you may not have anticipated before embarking on your Twitch journey?
So I'll give you a little. This is a really good question, and I want to talk about this. And my answer, I hope people don't take it the wrong way, but the way I see it. So I lived in London most of my life, and it's really pretty relaxed down there as Europeans, and I don't view music as a competition. There's not really, you don't compete against bands, because guess what? I can listen to that band and that band at the same time. It's not like, you either have an iPhone or you have a Google phone or, Android phone, something stupid like that.
Right.
But some people look at it that way, and I really want to say is you shouldn't look at it that way, especially with live streaming. I rate someone every single stream at the end of it. Bigger streamer, smaller streamer, they got 10 people watching, they got 100, they got 1,000, it doesn't matter to me. Because really, we're all in the same game here. We're all just having fun. I see it as a game. Social media is a video game. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You're just trying different things. And the same thing with Twitch. And the people have been really cool on Twitch, a lot of really cool people. I've met them in real life, and they're streaming. I know how much work it is to do live streaming. So for me, I'm very happy to grade everybody and support them. And the thing about this, you cannot stop what's happening on Twitch. If you think I'm not going to rate people because I don't want someone to take my audience away, that's just so wrong. Because
Not
guess
a good
what?
way to do it.
The algorithm on all this media is there. So if you listen to music, you're into metal, you want to listen to whatever kind of music, that channel is going to show up as recommended anyway.
Yep.
So, we're all in this together. There's no need to be, competing that kind of way. I think it's great that all these musicians, guitar player, band members are on the stream, because it really kind of push more people into Twitch, which is still, it's really small compared to how big YouTube is. You think about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it helps everybody. Look, and if you really want to talk about competition, to be honest, I have learned a lot from these streamers. That's why I gave them a shout out. When I first started streaming, it was still a new thing for me. So I learned from all these people like 8-Bit Drummer. I saw how he did the stream, French Stallion, Chainbrain. I learned something from Ronnie Ratty from Falling in Reverse. He's got an incredible production of live stream. It's probably the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, how can I improve my stream? It's not as a competing thing, but give the fans watching an even better, more fun experience. And I think, don't forget what music is about. Sometimes people, I know from the underground level, right? You all been underground bands where people go, oh, I don't hate that guy. Oh, well, this and that. It's all that kind of little competition, but, at the end, really the music is what it's about, and you can't say what's better.
Absolutely. And I think that's the approach that really everyone should be taking, as far as, there's no finish line on success, and there's no one who has ever been successful by themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important to be a part of your community, and whether that's through streaming or playing music or, whatever endeavor you might be on, not turning your business and your passion into a competition is one of the most important lessons that I think anyone could take away from, someone with a professional perspective. So, another fantastic answer. You are such a good guest, Herman.
Oh, thank you. Can I just put this in there in case people don't understand me? And I feel really strong about these things, to be honest, about musicians sticking together in this times.
Mm-hmm.
Is if there was only one metalcore band, metalcore would have never been so big.
Yeah.
Just think about it that way. You need a scene to come in where everybody's very, not same style, but they play very similar. They have similar influences, and that pushes the scene and become more, it will go out to people. yeah, even the metal scene itself, what style you're into is a community too by itself.
Absolutely.
Itself.
Absolutely. Well, I think that is a great point to wrap this up on. Thank you so much, man, for joining us today for this little live stream interview chat that we have going on. For everybody who is watching, this is Herman Lee from Dragonforce. He is actually going to be starting a stream here very shortly after we end this on Twitch. If you want to follow him, if you are not already, it is at twitch.tv/Herman Lee. Super cool guy, as you can tell. Super fun streamer. Definitely check him out. I've been following him for a very long time, and it is always a blast in his chat. So give him a follow. All of his social media is listed right down here below me. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And Herman, thanks again for coming on. Everybody, we will see you next time.
Thank you.